All right, my name's Maggie Adams, and I teach at Front Range Community College. Today I'm going to be talking about 8-bit character. This is for Illustrator 1 class. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and launch Illustrator, and depending on your computer, the size of your computer RAM, the space you have available, you can make these a lot larger. But for this semester, since most of you are working on your own computers, we're going to go ahead and make these files 700 pixels by 700 pixels. So make sure you click on the drop down. Normally we'll work in inches. Today we're working in pixels. So set that to 700 by 700 and go ahead and create that file. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to click on M, which is going to take us to that rectangle tool, and we're going to click in this top left corner and we're going to make a box that's the exact size of our artboard there. So we're going to go 700 by 700 pixels. We're going to have no fill and no stroke. I'm going to zoom in close to this corner. Any corner is fine. And we're just going to make sure that that box is sitting right in that corner because you can't move it after we create a grid. So you want to make sure that you have it set right on that corner. And to get to the full screen, I just hit Command 0. I'm on a Mac, so Command 0, the shortcuts I give you will be Mac based. All right, so again, click on that. No fill and no stroke. The next thing we're going to do is split our shape into a grid. So we're going to click on that shape, go to Object, Path, and split into grid. And to figure out your grid size, you are going to take your shape that you made, so the 700 by 700, and you're going to divide it by 10. So if I were doing 1,000 by 1,000, it would be 100 rows and 100 columns, and that's what this dialog box is asking here, is how many rows and how many columns. We did 700 by 700, so dividing that by 10, that's going to give us 70, so we're going to go 70 rows and 70 columns. All right, so we are going to go ahead and say OK. And then we are going to select everything, so Command A, and then copy, edit, copy, or Command C, and then paste in front. So it pastes it in the exact same spot. So now we have a second one pasted in the front. And then what we're going to do is we're going to open our layers. We're going to name this layer Live Paint. And then we're going to duplicate that layer, and we're going to name the one above it Live Paint Extra. We're going to duplicate it again, and we're going to name this one Guides. And we're going to turn off the bottom two layers. We're just going to work with this guide layer for a minute because I want to show you that you can actually make guides out of a grid like this. It's helpful to know that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to the top under View, Guides, Make Guides, and then just notice that it just made these into guides. So we're going to go ahead and turn that off. And we are going to now go to our Live Paint layer, and on this layer we're going to select everything, and we're going to make this Live Paint. So this goes back to our Live Paint project that we worked on in this class. We're going to go up to Object, Expand, and then Object, Live Paint, Make. And now you can see it put these little boxes on the corners, meaning that we're in Live Paint mode. So we're ready to Live Paint. We don't have anything yet to Live Paint. That's what we're going to work on next. So I'm going to just go ahead and launch Chrome, and I'm going to type in character, and we're going to find a simple character. I just went to Images, I've done Mike before from Monsters Inc., but you just want to find something that's pretty simple, like SpongeBob. Any of these are really fine. A Tom and Jerry, anything very simplistic. Just you don't want anything that's too detailed. I'm going to go ahead and pull in this character. So I just dragged it to my desktop. It's a PNG, that's perfectly fine. I'm going to open a layer, drag it to the bottom, and name this original character. Drag and drop my character. Oops. I'm going to lock that down for a minute. Make sure that I have my character on the right layer. She's on the right layer. I don't want to leave it this small. I want to make sure that I make it larger. I'm holding down Command Shift to make sure it's proportionate. You don't want to do this so that it's not proportionate. You want to make sure you keep it proportionate. And mine's kind of square, which fits my artboard, and if yours was more rectangular, that's fine. Just fit it in the best you can, but make sure that your character is not like hanging over the edge or too close to the edge. You don't want it to be that close. That's just annoying to your eye. You want some margin that goes all the way around it. So as long as they're taking up the majority, that's fine. What we're going to do next is we're going to go to Swatches, and we're going to go to the 4 little lines at the top, select all unused, and delete. You should do this every project that you're using because you don't want to use default colors. You want to pick your own colors. And in this case, we're just going to be creating this same exact character. So we're going to go ahead and eyedropper the colors that are in here. So I'm going to pull the red. I just eyedroppered it, click, hold, and drag it in. I'm going to grab that skin color, her cheek color, and I'm going to grab this gray color for that piece that's down below. And the background here is white, but I'll probably make something that's, some other solid color, so it's not just plain white. And black I already have. So I have black, red, I have her cheek color, the face color, and the gray that's down below. So that's perfectly fine. All right, so let's go back to our layers. I'm gonna unlock the paint, light paint. I'm gonna lock the character layer. And when I hover over, you want to click on the live paint, and you could see that now I'm in live paint mode. And with live paint mode, I can use my left and right arrow on my keyboard to cycle through the colors that I have. And this is the reason that we delete all those other colors, because you don't need those. You only need these few colors that we're going to be using on this character. I usually start at the top corner somewhere. In this case, I'm going to start at the top left. Round things are a little difficult, which is why I picked one, because I want to show you how we handle them. So I'm going to go just clicking on my right arrow till I get to the black, and I'm just going to click in these areas. And there comes a point like this one where you have to decide. Part of that square is black, part of it's white. Which one's it going to be? I have to decide that. You can also click, hold, and drag, and it will color in a lot of these squares. And I'm going to purposely miss a couple in here so that you could kind of see, and this black is a little different than the black of the character, so I can see the ones that I've missed. But you could also turn your character off and then just come in here and hit these few that you missed if you can't really see the difference. So I'm just going to come in and fill these in, and then I'm just going to try and decide, how am I going to make this to, feel round. That feels pretty square, so I might go back and get rid of a couple of those. So I'm going to come in here like this. And if you hit one that should be a different color, not a big deal. If I want that to be red, I can make it red later. So like if I come over, I'm now going to hit my right arrow and get to that red color. So now I could come in with my red and make this little hairband kind of piece in there. Something like that. I might hit one more. maybe something like that. Turn off your character, kind of look at it, make sure it looks good. Feels like it goes a little far down here, so I might go back to the black and turn that. You know, something like that feels pretty good. So now I'm going to come in with my black, and I'm just going to keep going until you fill all of this character in. So, and I like to turn my character off every once in a while and just kind of take a look at what I have. Also gives me, you know, that opportunity to go in and kind of fix anything that I feel like I don't particularly like, or like if I want to get rid of one of those, I can. I like that. It feels a little more even. And then you just turn it back on and keep going. So some of it is going to be easy because you could just click, hold, and drag. When you're on a corner, it's a little trickier when things are round, but you can still click, hold, and drag. So here you can see what we have done so far. When you're working on the background, you want to make a new layer, drag it to the bottom, name it background, and then you want to figure out, even if I were to leave this white, you need to fill in all of these boxes white. It cannot just be left white so that you turn in this, because what we're going to do is we're going to add, I might go to your background layer and I'm going to add, let me turn this on for a second. I might take this, make myself a box of a color that you don't have. So I might go to a new swatch. Let's just say it's a blue color. I'm going to fill that in, and I'm going to look at this, and I'm going to see if there's any blue areas that show through. And if there are blue areas that show through, then you missed something, and that's going to count against you. So you want to make sure that you do this to check yourself to make sure you got everything. So I'm going to delete this blue for a minute, and let's talk about how to handle the background. So I might take, let's say I wanted to go with, let me delete this color for a minute, and I'm going to duplicate this beige like skin color, and then I'm going to double click it, and I'm just going to pull in like a little bit of blue. And now I'm on my background layer. I'm going to go to Live Paint again. I'm on my blue color, and I'm just going to fill in some blue. So then it's just kind of a light blue, and that'll look good with that picture that we have going. And don't feel like you have to do it a solid color. You definitely don't have to. I mean, I could go back to my swatches, pull in this tan color again. I could even use the tan color if I wanted to, or I could pull in a little more yellow, and then I could even come back in here and just fill in. You could see it kind of randomly get some, and if you go into the black, it's not a big deal, you could fix it. But so then my background can kind of be yellow and the blue, or you can just leave it as blue. So I can go back to blue and just fill it all in as blue. That's fine too. Just make sure that you go back to your layers and you go ahead and draw yourself, you know, a big box. Go outside the box so it's easy to click on and delete. I'm going to go to my swatches color, and I deleted that color, so I'm just going to make myself a little darker blue here. Do a color that you're not using, so you could come back in here and see where it is that you missed. So I could lock my background layer down, or I could put that on another layer and lock it, or just go to Object, Lock Selection, so it locks down that blue. And then I can go back to my Live Paint and click on my light blue color, and I can just come in here and click those that I missed. Or if you don't want to be that meticulous, just kind of go over them to make sure you get them all. It's a little faster to click, hold, and drag. So, and then once you're done with that background, you could just go to Object, Unlock All, and delete. so you can look at what you have left. And that's basically it. You can, I have a little note on your project sheet, you could toggle between I and K, and I will take you to the eyedropper, so that I can actually like select, oh, I need red. I can click on that and it's going to give me the red, or K goes back to that live paint. I tend to select all my colors ahead of time, so that I can select my, I'm already set up. I only have the colors in my swatches panel that I'm going to be using, but you can toggle between I for the eyedropper and K if you want to. I just tend not to do that. I like to set it up ahead of time. And that's it. You're going to make sure that you select all of the squares, that you change all of their colors. So when you're done, you could turn off your character and you're still going to see your character and some kind of background. And don't feel like your background has to be solid. If you want to do something different with like a mountain and a tree, or a sun or anything like that, you could pull in another picture just like we did with the character, and you could use that kind of as a template. And that's it. That's our 8-bit character. I hope this video was helpful.